Last week we talked about Murder Mystery 1 with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler, and this week we will talk about the second part, which came out a couple of days or a couple of weeks ago. I don't know when I published this podcast, so I'm not sure when it came out. Hello and welcome. This is Nerd Universum. I'm Finn, and today we talk about Murder Mystery 2. The story of Murder Mystery 2 takes place 4 years after the first part, and Nick and Aubrey split with their jobs and opened their own private investigation company, and it isn't that good, so they're very glad when they receive an invitation to buy Maharaja Vikram to his wedding with on his private island, which is like a very good excursion or holiday, I think. And when they go to this wedding, the bodyguard of Vikram is killed and Vikram is kidnapped, and the kidnappers want $70 million as ransom gold, and because of how the kidnapping is done, there have to be two kidnappers, one who let the distraction inside and one who fled with Vikram in a boat. And the suspects for the second kidnapper are Vikram's future wife, Claudette, his sister Ira, his business partner Francisco, his ex-girlfriend Countess Seku, and her friend, aka slave or servant, Imani, and his former bodyguard Ulenka, which we know from the first part. They are being supported by a former MI6 agent Connor Miller to get Vikram back, and they hunt them from the private island to Paris. And yes, I personally liked the film more than the first one. I loved the chemistry between Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler, like in the first one, and the actors were even more convincing. I personally don't like Jodie Turner-Smith as Countess Seku and Zorin Villanueva as Imani, because they were pretty poorly acted, but the rest of the actors were pretty good, and the script was still pretty weak, but it was better, so I give this movie 8.5 out of 10 stars. Now I'm gonna repeat what was in the full movie, so if you want to watch it, I would recommend you to turn down the podcast. And like I already said, Nick and Aubrey Spitz began their own private investigation company, and it goes pretty poorly. So when Vikram invited them to his wedding, they go there to his own private island and enjoy the luxury a little bit. But the celebrations are being interrupted by Vikram's kidnapping, and his bodyguard Mr. Liu is murdered and sent into the celebration on an elephant, and Vikram should be sitting at this elephant, so as a kind of the distraction. It is important, so you understand later. Nick follows the voices of Vikram, and he's kidnapped by a guy which shoots some bullets out of a machine gun on him and drives away with a very fast boat. Aubrey finds out that there has to be a second kidnapper. The suspects are his future wife Claudette, his sister Saira, his business partner Francisco was a former football player, and he doesn't play football because he hit a guy so badly with his head that he had to go to hospital. His ex-girlfriend and their friend and his former bodyguard, they are being supported by an MI6 agent, Connor Miller, who is played by Mark Strong. You might know because of Kingsman. He played Merlin in Kingsman. And the kidnappers want $70 million, and Nick and Aubrey should bring them to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. And they are set to go in a van and fight with the kidnappers and kill every one of the kidnappers, but make a whole chaos in Paris and crash into a cafe. It's called Procope. It has to be a very famous cafe in Paris. And in the news they see that they are again being seen suspects for the kidnapping of Vikram, the murder of Mr. Liu, and the chaos in Paris. Miller appears in the cafe and Nick gives him the coffer with the $70 million, and Aubrey suspects Miller may have done something bad, but then his car is blown up and he seemed to be killed. After that there appear two persons, and one steals the money and drives away with a motorcycle, and then one hits him with a garbage car and steals the money from the one who stole it from Miller. After that, the Spitzes search for Inspector Delacroix, which we know from the first part, and with his help they get to find the garbage car in front of a castle. Nick and Aubrey go in the castle and are being captured by Sekou and Imani, which stole the money because Sekou was angry at Vikram. And before they both go away, Sekou shoots Imani because she wants to have the money for her own, and the dying Imani shoots Sekou because she was being shot by her. And at this fight the castle is being set to fire, and Nick and Aubrey could barely escape with the money. They call all suspects which are sitting together and tell them to bring Vikram to the Eiffel Tower. There it turns out that Miller survived the explosion and captured and kidnapped Vikram for the money. And at this confrontation, Nick and Aubrey trick Miller, so he lost most of his money, and when he falls off the Eiffel Tower, he crashes in his helicopter and is being shredded by the rotor plates. And after that, Audrey finds out that there's another person who is in this whole kidnapping thing, and it's Vikram's sister Saira, who is angry because Vikram got the family company and not her, and she shoots her brother, but Colonel Ulenga, the former bodyguard of her brother, who was first only a hand, then a full arm, jumps in front of Vikram and catches the other bullet in his heel arm. And Maharaja thanks the Spitzes and gives them $10 million as well as his helicopter, and the movie ends with the pilot of the helicopter stealing the money and jumping out of the helicopter in a parachute, and Audrey and Nick sitting in the crashing or about to crash helicopter. So yeah, they are like about to crash, but it's like a cliffhanger. We don't know how it will end. In my opinion, there has to be a second part. I don't know if they said there would be a second, but a third part. But Aniston and Sandler act so well together, and there's still so much to do. But in my opinion, they should fire their screenwriter and let another one do the job better, because the crime aspect of the show is really poorly written. But this was my podcast, my second real English podcast, and I hope you liked it. You can watch my Insta or Facebook for new podcasts, watch my Letterboxd account for film reviews when I don't do podcast about them, and maybe send me a speak message on the link in my podcast description. I hope you liked the podcast. See you next week. Bye.